And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts, on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos. Josh and I, very early this morning, for me anyways, talked about Zootopia 2 soaring at the box office, Metroid Prime 4, and what are the funniest movies of all time? Because we had thoughts on Variety's 100 top comedies of all time article that they recently published. And now, guess what? Based off of that conversation, Josh is asking everyone out there if they can go ahead and email us popculturecosmos@yahoo.com, or you put it in the description below. Don't put it in the chat here. Put it in the comments below after the show on your top 3 comedy movies, because he wants to do his own list of the top 100 comedy movies of all time. What did I even start when I mentioned that as a topic for today? But it looks like he is all set on doing that. So we talk about all that, including also as well the MCU review continues with a look at both of the Ghost Riders as far as the MCU is concerned. So go ahead and catch it, the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, want to go ahead and mention, I think that we got an Inside Sports Fantasy Football coming up here later this week. Chris Sardieri and I talking about the latest goings on in the NFL. And shout out to Cool Bro, his Rams don't look as mighty, and Stafford doesn't look as mighty as he thought he did. Unfortunately, they got the loss. New England got the win. New England looks like they're on top along with Denver out there in the AFC. So we go ahead and we'll talk about that coming up there this week on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Don't forget Joe Sorrell. He has his own playback like we just did at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Want to go ahead and give a big shout out to, of course, Tough So and No Joker and Henry, who was ready to escort the Phoenix Suns to the airport immediately. So yes, absolutely. Just want to go ahead and say, just appreciate those guys bearing through a bad game like this. You're here for the highs and you're there for the lows. That's what loyal fans do. And they, along with everybody else on Playback and YouTube, got to give you a shout out as well. Cannot thank you enough for supporting us right here on the Lakers Fast Break on Playback. But Joe Sorrell has his own Playback and also YouTube channel based on the Joe Sorrell Experiment on YouTube and the Joe Sorrell Experiment on Playback as well. The Australians were manning it up as far as during the game. So go ahead and check out what they're doing as well. If you see us a little bit busy, go ahead and head on over there. Or Lakers Corner. Don't forget John Costa. He's doing his 3-minute report, a lousy 3-minute report for him as far as how depressing it will be. But go ahead and make sure you check it out anyways, because he really does a great job in his 3-minute reports on Lakers Corner, wherever you get your social media. And I'm hoping that Joe Sorrell and John Costa will come by today with their thoughts on the Lakers game as well. I want to go ahead and mention that I started off the day getting a reminder, because the one last things I did when I went to bed last night was I checked out that video that I was sent. And I didn't know who sent it. I wasn't familiar with the name. When you guys send me something at LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com, because we're having all the issues right now with the profile names, send me a profile name that I will be familiar with, because sometimes I really don't know your guys' real names out there. Sorry, with all due respect. So I didn't know who sent that to me. It was actually Mission 24. So I got to give him a big shout out. He said about the yelling, it wasn't directed towards us. It was directed towards something I like to go ahead and reference, angry coaching, because that guy yells all the time. The guy actually has some really great points on angry coaching, but he yells at everything, especially if it's a Bronny video. He'll just constantly yell, but he makes great points. But he did point me into the direction of actually a guy who puts a lot of the same valid points, but does it in a extremely less vocal fashion as far as the volume is concerned. So that was my mistake there. And so I want to go ahead and call out Mission 24 for doing that. And while it was my mistake in saying that, what wasn't a mistake was my affirmation that playing back-to-backs here in 2025, as far as the NBA is concerned, for these guys, just seemingly it is tough for them to go ahead and get up for that second game. I've been saying that throughout, saying that constantly. I know Joe disagrees with me on that. He's again, he throws the 26-year-old guys, 26-year-old. Well, these 26-year-old guys that we threw out there tonight, along with LeBron James coming back in the lineup, look like a team that was gassed right from the second quarter on. First quarter came in. Luka, similar what he did in yesterday's game, 18 points in that first quarter, but the team became reliant on him dominating the ball. And it's one of those things where it got into the second quarter, especially the second half of that second quarter and right into halftime, where everything fell apart. They looked to Luka to try and right the ship, and the more he tried, the more he was failing. It just did look good. It was the worst quarter I have seen Luka play in a Lakers uniform. And I know a lot of people are upset and pointing the finger at him because of the fact he continuously took up shots. And you can see it. You can see how this team was playing and how it was affecting him turning the ball over, Austin Reeves turning the ball over. In fact, the team had over 20 turnovers tonight, as far as it's concerned. And that's not a good thing, especially when you don't hold the other team to that same accounting. And when you give up 32 points off of turnovers, that's not a good thing to do. They were outscored 32-13 on points off of turnovers. 22-11 are the total number of turnovers, and it wasn't a pretty sight at all. And it just, even Luka's 38 and point almost triple double, just seemingly was ineffective after the first quarter. And again, dominating the ball so much, it didn't leave much room for operation for the other players. Austin Reeves, 6 points for him. LeBron James got his double digits, 10 points late in the fourth quarter. But Rui Hachimura in 23 minutes, one shot. Our best long-distance shooter got only one shot up and 0 points overall. Got the big donut. And that was really surprising to see. DeAndre Ayton was 12 points and 9 rebounds, but basically was also ineffective as well. In fact, as a team, they played really, really passive on defense. It looked terrible, giving up constant threes. In fact, for the entire game, the Phoenix Suns were 44% from three, 9, 57% overall from the field. And Dillon Brooks, even with Devin Booker bowing out in 10 minutes with a groin injury, didn't stop him. Dillon Brooks, 33 points tonight on 15-26 shooting. Colin Gillespie, the second-year player that's been a real find for them this year in Phoenix, and that he got 28, 8 of 14 shooting from behind the arc. And the Phoenix Suns, after again making a run in the second quarter, the Lakers never recovered from, and they just kept the distance on the Lakers, and it was never close after that as they pulled away for a 125-108 victory. They are now 13-9, but the Lakers, again, to keep it on the bright side, 15-5, guys, 15-5 to go ahead and start the season. I will take that, but as Jeremy said, he's just concerned about the way we lost tonight. The bench was terrible. The starting unit was terrible. Coaching moves were really just not hitting on any cylinder. And for overall, it was just a terrible performance by the Lakers to start out on the road trip here coming up in a couple days. And the Lakers lost on the last game of the homestand tonight in an absolutely terrible performance, 125-108. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. I know there have been some super chats here, and I truly appreciate you sharing those super chats with me. Once again, it's Gerald Glass. Thanks again for watching this thing. Truly appreciate you joining us. And looky who's here. It is the man himself, a guy who you could find on playback at the Joe Soro Experiment and his YouTube channel, the Joe Soro Experiment as well. It is Joe Soro. Great to have you here. Your face is gassed. Yours as well, my friend. Hello, fellow guest. But again, Lakers look tired. Back-to-back issues. I know you always say there's nothing. You don't have any concerns over back-to-back, but I think you got a clear indication tonight that this team played without focus, played without energy, played without life, and from the coaching staff on down, it looked like a team that just didn't want to be there on the second night of the back-to-back, whether it was home or away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was because they were tired. I just think they sucked
Oh,
tonight.
here we go. Another excuse. They look gassed, man. I think you just got to put her right there.
Maybe they should run more laps.
Okay.
I don't give a shit what it was. There's no reason for 26, 27-year-olds and playing in elite athletes playing in the NBA to get tired on a back-to-back. It wasn't like they traveled from Toronto to Orlando. This was at home. So what are they tired about? What happened between last night and today? What were they doing? Slapping their hams the whole time?
Maybe they were. I don't know. I don't monitor what they do on their off time.
Well, maybe you should.
Maybe you should.
No, I'm not doing that shit.
Well, then why'd you even mention it?
I got other things to do, so you go do it.
No, I've got many better things to do. So I'm good. Thank you. Yes. 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 Now,
let's remove back-to-backs. Let's cut the season to 40 games so that we can continue to hear whining about anybody that does anything productive because there's not enough games, or this season something happened where, oh well, the game changed, the games are less, and there was a bubble, and they played in Orlando, and there's always an excuse for something, whether it's good or bad, and excuses have been supported for so long now in society that you have manifested this nonsense of tiredness and focus to some kind of, well, there's an overworking and there's things going on where give them a break. Look, these are supposed to be title contenders, right?
Well, a lot of people think that. Yes.
Do they look like a title contender today?
No.
No. Is it a one-off?
You hope so.
No, what you saw tonight was something that's going to plague this team when they play athletic teams, which is what Phoenix is. This isn't a surprise tonight that they got worked. This team needs defensive reinforcement. So this may be a blessing in disguise in that the Laker brass needs to make a conscious effort in understanding that they're going to need defense to compete when things get tighter as the games become more important. How they do that, that's why they get paid the big bucks to figure it out. But they're not going to be able to withstand a barrage of athletic freaks who can shoot, which there's a lot of guys out there that can do that. And a lot of them are on teams that can do it in bunches too. Oh, I was watching Reeves close out on his guy. He looked like Bronny in that awful coaching segment where he's just kind of like 3 or 4 steps behind on each play. And that's not a good look for JJ Redick, unfortunately, or the Lakers coaching. This is something where I know that JJ said something to Bronny the last time he got brought into this team, which I'm still in complete astonishment on how this guy is still on this team. When I saw him running out of the locker room at the beginning of the game, it was almost like an omen. It didn't feel good when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck is this asshole doing? Did you not see what he did the other day?
He was terrible in 2 games in San Diego this
Why
past
the hell
weekend.
are they bringing him up? Why is he on the team? So I don't understand why do you do good things and then scale back? Why? You do that, you ruin momentum. Michael talked about this, and I had some Yahoo yapping about Michael quitting in 1993, and it's easier to play basketball apparently because he didn't play for a year and a half. Like just the amount of stupidity, and of course, this guy likely wasn't even born at that time, so he can only talk according to what YouTube tells him. I guess this guy forgot that his pops got shot and killed, and maybe he was destroyed by that, right? No, apparently he was taking a break so that he can go vacation in Bermuda or something. But there is, oh, and I also, I got to talk about my guys at Lakers ball. I had not a heated discussion, but an aggressive one
You
where
have a heated discussion?
people talk about enjoying the season and taking the season as it goes, and not every year a team is going to win it all. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, I grew up watching Kobe, Michael, Tiger, Tom Brady. If you said that to them on their team, you would be playing for the Cleveland Browns the next day. If you're in the NFL, you'd be playing for the Orlando Magic. If you were with the Bulls, I mean, it's like we're spectators, we're fans, we're invested in this, and there is some spoiledness there. I'm not gonna front on that, but I'm looking for greatness. I'm used to it at this point. I've seen my teams win Super Bowls, multiple. I've been alive for almost all of them. I've seen my basketball team win 11 championships during my existence. My baseball teams won 5 championships in my existence. So sue me for expecting wins in the big games. That's and then of course growing up in the Tom Brady, the Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant world, what how do you want me to be? You want me to be like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade? Is that what you want me to be? Oh, we're all here to have fun and be friends. That's great. And one of the guys asked me, like, what have you won? I'm like, what? You can't win in life? You can't win a title in life in certain things that you do? I'd like to think I've won a lot in life. I might have not won an NBA championship or the Masters, but I'm winning in my life. I'm a fan of these teams. And I just think it's funny when people retort in a certain way about, well, what have you done? Well, what the fuck do you know what I've done? You don't know shit. I'm talking about winning here. And you saw a little bit of what LeBron James has always been about too. And I was going back and forth on whether I wanted to go this route because I hadn't said anything about LeBron in a while, but LeBron has a knack for bringing that out of people. But it surely looked like LeBron cared about that double digit per game thing more than about winning this game, especially when he was sitting there and grab assing and laughing with the opponents.
Okay.
Welcome to the new age superstar, guys. Go ahead and enjoy your enjoy the journey. Enjoy your games. That's what you get.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. He's no longer the Haitian sensation, but I am Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. And the Lakers lose tonight by the score of 125 to 108. The Lakers try to put a good spin on this before I hit up the comments by our good friend Intel Wild. And thank you so much for the super chats. I will go ahead and read them off here in a second. The Los Angeles Lakers are still owners of the third best record in the NBA, Joe, second place in the Western Conference. And again, like we discussed yesterday, if someone came up to us and said, you know what, guys, don't worry about the Lakers going in after 20 games, they're going to be very competitive and they're going to own the third best record in the entire NBA. And they're going to be in second place in the Western Conference. I will take it. I will take it any day of the week because this team has some definite flaws, especially on the defensive end and the bench. They do not have again, a lot of resources on that bench. Each one of those players after number 5, they're flawed in so many different ways. And just some nights they're of no relief for you. If the starting lineup does not gel and does not click offensively, then you are going to have nights like this. It's just that simple. I mean, LeBron tonight, he barely made his 10 points. No rebounds for him, as was mentioned in the chat. Rui Hashimura, 21 minutes tonight, one shot taken, 0 points for him, for your best shooter that's out there. Austin Reeves, who came in averaging 26, a paltry 16. Luke, after scoring 18 in the first quarter, just really, again, 38 overall, but it looked like I'd say probably by far and away the worst quarter I've ever seen him play was that second quarter where he did everything absolutely wrong. 9 turnovers for him all game. It seemed like 9 turnovers were made in that last 5 minutes of the second quarter by the Lakers as a whole. 22 turnovers overall, leading to 32 points for the Phoenix Suns. Absolutely obliterating the Lakers right there as far as they're concerned. And plus, on the defensive end, it wasn't no picnic either, as you gave up 44% shooting from 3 and 57% shooting overall. Just absolutely abysmal performance on both sides of the ball. And Joe, just didn't seem like this team was prepared. It wasn't focused. It had no energy. It had no life. And a lot of that could be due to the guys themselves. But, you got to throw that. As many flowers we've been giving JJ Redick today, you got to say he takes an L just as big as the rest of them as well, because he didn't get this team prepared well enough to go ahead and go into battle tonight against Dylan Brooks, of all people. And this goes without saying with Devin Booker missing the first 10 minutes. I mean, gone after the 10 minutes with a groin strain. He was gone the rest of the game after 10 minutes. So it just seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I know that Intel Wild said no Booker. LeBron barely makes 10 points. Austin coming back to earth. Help us, Podfather. He also had another comment as well, as far as from Turd War. I'm sorry. Turd War had a comment as well. Took my son to his first game and they played pathetic. That breaks my heart the most. This breaks my heart the most, Joe. Took his son to his first game there. And I don't care about the Austin Butlers and all the stars that were there today. I don't know if Austin Butler's a Phoenix fan or not, but all these stars that they're fine. They're going home. They're talking about their movies or TV shows or what have you. It's moments like this where you take your son to his very first game. Turd War took his son to his very first game, Joe. And this is the kind of effort he gets. That will leave a lasting impression for a lifetime with that young man. And my heart goes out to him.
And that's been kind of what's happened in society in general the last 30 years. And it probably was happened before then, but I'm just saying the last 30 years because I was coherent enough to understand it. There's this mentality, make things easier. Yeah, I'll give you an example. My wife's been trying to get my daughter to clean her room, and this is the first time I've ever ran into this problem with any of my kids about the room being clean. My wife's been telling my kid to clean her room for a month. My mom, my wife's a good mom, the best, right? I go in the room today, and I'm going, what the hell is this? And later today, I look at my kid. I go, "What are you doing up there? You cleaning your room?" And she wasn't. And then I had to kind of say, the room needs to be cleaned. And it wasn't daddy being nice and huggy and kissy all the time, right? That thing needs to be cleaned, and it needs to be cleaned now, not like tomorrow, not in an hour. It needs to be cleaned now without me really saying it like that. And that's something that I've tried to preach to my kids. I go, I shouldn't have to tell you. I'm a boy, right? I'm a guy. I never had my room dirty like that. And it wasn't because my mom was, you need to clean your room. No, I knew how to handle my shit. Now, my parents were examples and I inherited it. And the point of the story is it, what are these guys doing when you're saying they're tired? What are they doing? They're tired not even 20 games into an 82 game season in in their prime years of their existence. And on top of that, they're professional athletes. I'm insulted, and I'm rarely insulted, but this is an insult. And for anyone, whether they're on Lakers ball, whether they're on the internet, whether they're on here, to have the fucking gall to tell me, what do I know? Who are you? Fuck you. Okay? They're the ones that are getting paid 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars to be in shape and to play games. Okay? What set the Michaels and the Kobe's apart from everybody? Why do we keep talking about them? It's not because I'm stuck in the past. Fuck the past. I'm doing better now than I ever have in my life. Okay? I might have been younger and faster then, but I'm in a much better position now than I was 20 years ago. So spare me the back. I don't give a fuck about the past when it comes to that stuff. What I'm saying is that little kid saw shit tonight. When before the greatness of the guys I just mentioned, they thought about that kid. They thought about that one guy that was sitting there that will probably never get back to another game again. And they said, I'm putting on a show for that guy. Why do you think they're so loved? Why do you think they were so big? Why do you think LA, the most prissy, pussy ass city on the planet, loved Kobe so much? Because they weren't actually, because everybody associates LA to Hollywood. They're not. If you go to LA, if you eliminate Hollywood, which is kind of sort of happening already, you got blue collar people that are working there everywhere. That's what they loved about Kobe. He was always there. He was always playing. You had to take that sucker out by his spleen to get him out of there. We don't see that admiration anymore. What we see now is some of you who have grown up with the current GOAT laughing, grab assing, and worrying about a 10-point number on his stat sheet. This is a man that's accomplished everything you could accomplish in basketball, and he's still thinking about 10 points in a game. If this didn't show you how selfish and self-absorbed that man is, nothing ever will. That right there should tell you everything about who that guy is. And the fact that Bronny James was on the team tonight after the performances of the last two G League games. Yes, folks, we do watch the G League games. We are Laker fans. If we're going to sit up here on a podcast, talk about the Lakers, talk about development, talk about all that stuff, you have to kind of watch everything. He looked like a guy that never played basketball in his life in the fucking G League. And yet he is being brought up. And why? Why is he being brought up? It's not for anything logical. And those same people that talk about privilege, it's these motherfuckers right here that talk about it and then execute it on their own and think, oh, no, it's different here, right? No, it's not different. It's worse. So please spare me. They were tired. Spare me that they were at home yesterday, okay? They didn't travel across the fucking country and look like the Bucks when we were in Milwaukee. That's a completely
I'm just going
different
to tell you like
situation.
this. I'm going to tell you like I told Curtis. I state facts. I never make excuses. I call it like I see it. And if you don't like it, oh well. Your opinion is your opinion. My
Yeah, it's
opinion is
very difficult.
based on facts. Teams do not play as well in back-to-back games. It's just that simple. You can look at it over the record as far as this season so far. They'll be playing 14, 15, 16 back-to-backs, and these NBA teams do, and they don't play well in the second game of back-to-back. It's just statistically there. There are reasons for it. And if you're asking these guys to play high-level basketball for 35 minutes, like they did last night, because they didn't put away the New Orleans Pelicans in the first half like they should have, then you reap what you sow. And they came out in second, and they ran out of gas, and they fell apart in that second half. All of them, not just Luka, all of them. 22 turnovers. They're terrible shooting. Their defense was abysmal. I mean, this is the same team that had their way for the most part against New Orleans. But yeah, if you don't want to say there's nothing to it, then that's fine. But I will state differently. I never make excuses. I state facts. And the facts are right there as far as the records for teams in the NBA on back-to-backs.
Yeah, because they've already talked themselves into believing that, oh, it's a back end of a back to back. We're supposed to be tired and worn out.
I'm just telling you the facts.
These
So
guys
again,
slept
they're
in their
not
own
excuses.
beds.
They're never excuses.
They slept in their own beds. They played a shitty team last night, regardless of whether they blew them out or not. I mean, they didn't. I don't remember them going below 13 points. So I don't know what all this. They should have dropped them in 40 points. Sure, okay, great, but I don't think that's realistic in today's NBA on a regular basis. But in the end, there's a mentality of weakness. There's a mentality of understanding falsehoods. There's no, we want to make our mark. It's just not there. I don't know if it ever will be, actually. It might be done. And I don't think the team needs a Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks not going to have games like this regularly. Everybody
He scored
gets
21 points on the season.
everybody gets hot every now and then and doesn't miss. I mean, Gillespie's was cooking everybody tonight. Well, don't be surprised if he only scores 9 points in the next game. A lot of guys have that ability. Look at Rui. Rui scored 0 points. He's a starter. A starter scoring 0
And
points.
that's something I do have an issue with when it comes to the coaching, Joe, because how do you not notice these things when you're out there on the court and your best shooter is not only not getting the ball, he's not being allowed to shoot it or not wanting the ball enough to shoot it. Something's going on. And you're a coach, you're not pointing this out to Luka, to LeBron, to AR, that your best shooter is not getting involved in the offense.
Well, to take some info from the awful coaching guy, drop coverage, right? That's his favorite line: drop coverage, drop
He
coverage.
hates drop coverage. Hates drop coverage.
Because it sets up so many disadvantages to the defense. So many. And a smart player like Luka can exploit it over and over again. And teams do that because they don't have the players to do otherwise. And players don't have enough balls to really put their head down and play hard for 48 minutes or 30 minutes or 35 minutes, whatever it is that person plays. It is a weak-minded society. Sports take on society in terms of microcosm of society, and that's what these guys do. You saw Austin Reeves pull a Bronny James all game today. He was late on.
Let's be real. Though, Dylan Brooks, though, he wore out his welcome in both Houston and especially Memphis. They were done with his act in Memphis, Joe, were they not? Especially after he mouthed off against LeBron in that series, and LeBron ate his lunch. They had enough, and he went to Houston. Did the same thing. Joe, stop me if you heard this before. He did really well in his first season with Houston. Became a vocal leader for that team. Started to see some things building in place, and they loved it so much, Joe, that they included him in that trade for Kevin Durant to send him on out to Phoenix. So again, he wore out his welcome in two places already.
Well, I think
But
a lot of that
Phoenix,
had to do
but
with the
right now in Phoenix, it's working, and it's his attitude is working very well for this team.
well, the irony in the Memphis thing is they haven't done shit since they've traded him,
Yeah,
right? So
I'm not saying that's wrong. That's
I
not
don't.
wrong at all.
Dylan Brooks has never really been a thought in my head. I don't really look at the. He's not a Draymond Green. Draymond Green is a slimy player. He hits people in the nuts. He hits people without them looking. He's a coward. He's a kind of a worse version of Kevin Garnett. He's a studio gangster who acts tough in front of guys that are not going to be tough. He knows that. He knows he can be tough against the guys that aren't going to fight back. And I don't understand why anybody would be afraid of Draymond Green. I snuffed that fucking guy out 5 seconds just looking at him. All that guy needs is a good pop in the face, and he'll fucking fly away like a fucking burnt out balloon. I don't know, and I know that they can't do that in the NBA because they'll get fined and suspended for 15 years. I get it, but it's Dylan Brooks has an edge, and it's going to work a little bit better in an environment where there isn't much to lose. And Phoenix right now is playing in a very comfortable area. This Ishbia guy seems to have connected something. And I think when you hear about things like concessions being lowered, you see a team that has very little talent other than Booker and Dylan Brooks. Grayson obviously too has some talent, and yet they're playing with a lot of energy, and they're getting coached really well. This is the result of good leadership from top to bottom. It's there. Otherwise, why wouldn't they be the Memphis Grizzlies? Why wouldn't they be the New Orleans Pelicans? Right? Those guys actually have better talent than Phoenix, yet Phoenix is playing better than those two teams. So, attitude, the right location, yeah, those things all matter.
It's right now their locker room needs a guy like Dylan Brooks. But it's just like what happened in Knicks with Tom Thibodeau. Is there a point where that type of personality it falls upon deaf ears after a little while and gets tired for that team? I mean, obviously Memphis had their fill of Dylan Brooks when they did not pursue continuing to keep him on that team. In Houston, again, his salary was obviously used for matching purposes, but they didn't seem too broken up about letting him go in the Kevin Durant trade. But right now for Phoenix, he's been a big boost. He's averaging 21 and a half points. Got obviously a big game today from him, and also Colin Gillespie, who's been a breakout star for Phoenix in his second year, and could actually be one of the best second year players in the league as far as that's right now. And again, we'll have to wait and see. Now, matchup wise, in a playoffs, there are certain things about Phoenix that I think a lot of people would probably find rather enjoyable to play, because the fact is they do have some weaknesses on their own team that could be exploited. But right now, again, if you told me that the Lakers are after 20 games or would be 15-5, I would take it. They have the third best record in the NBA, guys. Yes, I know their losses have been pretty, but most of their losses, you lose by 1 or you lose by 30, it's still an L. And back to back, again, not making excuses, it's just a fact. But I would take 20 after 20 games, Joe. 15-5. That's a great record. People tonight are just all miserable about how they played tonight, heading out on the road trip and against another back-to-back for the Lakers. Their fifth one so far this season, coming up on Thursday and Friday with Toronto and Boston. And I'm not saying that they won't win that game, JY, but again, when you're playing a back-to-back, especially on the road, you're flying in and whatnot, Joe, like Joe said, you're going to talk yourself into being a little bit more tired and having to fight through a little bit more fatigue. Who's to say that the Lakers can't do it? Because Boston has been playing better as of late, but that game will definitely be a tough one for them on Friday night. But I'm not saying that they can't win that game. All I'm saying is that it's going to be a little bit tougher than if they went in straight up against the Boston Celtics without having to play a back-to-back. But we'll see. Toronto's a good team so far this season. Boston's a good team so far this season. And if they can win both, Joe, by the end of the week, this Phoenix game could be long forgotten if they go into the East on the road and beat both Toronto and Boston, who are both playing at right now playoff level in the East.
My issue tonight wasn't so much the loss. I look at the little things. Number one, is LeBron healthy? This would have been a good game for him to really go off.
Or is he looking like he
took yesterday off, so why wouldn't he be fresh today? Luka's going to drop 30 every game, whether he's throwing 10 turnovers or 1.
But this should have been a LeBron game because he had the day off.
And what happened to Rui? What is it with Rui in these games where he drops 2 points, 3 points as a starter? A starter cannot ever have games like this, ever.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do that. Imagine if he had 10 points and LeBron had 10 more points. This game's a win. It's that simple. LeBron looked like he might have not been healthy, but I don't know. He looked bored.
I mean, that chat that he had at the timeout there in the second half, where he just spent a lot of time, just chit-chatting with the Phoenix. Looks like I asked on playback, is he going to huddle up with the Phoenix Suns or is he going to huddle up with the Los Angeles Lakers, Joe? Because it sure as hell looked like he was going to settle up and then just go in the timeout and go in the huddle with the Phoenix Suns.
So here's likely the scenario. New ownership is going to ease their way into this because I've seen them do this before. And there's going to be a solution and there's going to be standards at some point here. We just have to kind of let it develop. NBA is a little bit more strict in terms of being able to advance the team, but the Laker fans are going to need to kind of let this develop first. But in that time, before this game, even before this game, and it will be after this game, and it'll be after this road trip. It doesn't matter. This team needs defensive players.
Of course.
And there's some valuable contracts that this team does have that would benefit an opposing team if they choose to want to get out of certain contracts. The Lakers, between now and February, need to figure out how they were going to get at least one standout defensive wing. And Marcus Smart, being who he is, we're never going to really know if he's going to be able to make it through the year. But
this was my concern going into the season.
It's always a concern for any of these cupcakes because that's what this league is now. Because it's been manifested, and there's a weakness in society. There's a weakness in the fan base. Again, I had this conversation on Lakers Ball where people are like, "Hey, it's stated stats where guys are running more than ever before. They're coming ever before." I'm like, all right. So, did you factor in the advancements of medical technology? Did you factor in food, recovery, the advancement? Then would you say that the advancements in those areas have gotten better since 30 years ago?
Tenfold.
Okay, exactly. So why are you not factoring that into your little calculator? Okay, and mind you, we're talking about two eras. Let's say the 90s. I always use the 90s as an example because that's when I first started understanding what was going on. Why is it that guys were playing more physical in that era, played more games than they do now? This isn't baseball where the pitchers are pitching 100, 101 almost on every team, and you have 2 or 3 guys. Back in the day, you had Nolan Ryan.
And that was it.
That was it. And he is the Bruce Matthews of baseball. Bruce Matthews is a Hall of Fame offensive lineman who played 19 years, every position on the offensive line. He was built like a goddamn granite hill. And Ray Lewis is another guy. Ray Lewis played linebacker like, I shouldn't say that because it might be a little too ironic.
Maybe he's not.
He played like a madman.
You're really not helping yourself.
This man broke Rashard Mendenhall's shoulder. Folks, I'm going to put this in perspective. He broke a running back shoulder. If you ever saw Rashard Mendenhall looked like he was cut out of stone. His physique, had he gone to professional bodybuilding, he probably would have won. He looked like Ronnie Coleman without juice, right? He broke that man's shoulder on a tackle. That's how vicious Ray Lewis was. I look at Ray Lewis walking around, it's like nothing. Now, he might have ailments that he doesn't show, but the point is, he's not walking like Hulk Hogan was the last few years of his life. He still walks normal when I see him. So
yeah, that Ray Lewis comparison.
When you want to talk about mentality, when you want to talk about winning, and again, if I'm going to sit back and and we've said this how many times on this show, you want me to just quit? That's what y'all want, right? Oh, fuck these guys. They're pansies, and I'm not going to watch it. And after a while, if you keep doing that in everything in life, you're going to be in some ditch or desert by yourself. Like, at some point, you got to sort of adapt and then maybe throw a couple comments in there to help the situation, right? Like, you can't sit there and bitch and whine all the time and not have a solution. Oh, I'm just going to run away. I'm just going to walk away. Oh, I'm just not going to watch. Okay, after a while, it's just going to be everything at some point. When does it end? But I love sports, so I'm not going anywhere. Fuck you. I'm going to tell you what's going on and what's wrong. What's wrong is these guys are pussy-ass pansies who are making more money than they ever have before, who have all the medical technology, who have all the right medicines, who have all the right dietitians and all the nutritions and all that stuff, yet and they're running back and forth shooting threes. They're not down in the block like Shaq used to go against Antonio Davis and Dale Davis and Arvydas Sabonis all at once, and he's dunking on their ass every other play. When does the excuse and the pussiness end? When? Oh, let's take the games down to 60. Why? Why? So that you can then bitch when a team wins and say, oh, they're only champions because they only played 60 games. Man, fuck you. Okay? Fuck you and your hypocritical ass. It never ends. So you stop it right where you see the problem. Their 82-game season is not a problem. I do think that the play-in and the stupid-ass NBA Cup is a problem. But 82 games is not a problem. And the 4 levels to a title is not a problem. If you can't handle the heat, you can't handle it, then take less money. I had a solution to this. I had it. I have it. You want to take 20 games off? Motherfucker, you prorate your contract. I will tip my hat. Hey, he was making $70 million, but he's not going to make 50 because he doesn't want to play 20 games during that year. He wants to save himself up. Fine. Because you know what you can do with that extra $20 million? Now you can go put it towards more talent. You see how it works? Oh, no, they won't do that. They want to have their cake, their pie, their cupcakes, and eat it too. It's not just the cake anymore. They want it all. And owners don't give a shit, right? They're just sitting back, collecting their checks, whatever it is. They got those TV contracts, giving them free money, which takes me to another subject that I'll get into here. I'm going to let John chime in here, and I'm going to explain to y'all why salary caps And what I call free money is a detriment to sports. Go ahead.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching. Listening. The Lakers lose 125 to 108. They are still have owners they have the third best record in the NBA, 15-5. They're second place in the Western Conference because Denver and Houston also lost. But here today to go ahead and discuss today's debacle. Good man indeed. It is, of course, the mastermind behind Lakers Corner, the social media guru himself. Please go ahead and check out his 3-minute reports and all the other stuff that he gives to you right there at Lakers Corner, including the one he just posted up probably just a couple of minutes ago. It is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here. Before we get to Joe's comments and also the comments about how you now have to defend LeBron, because I guess you're seemingly the LeBron defender of all time now, moving forward, because it's already been mentioned. I do want to ask you, how long have you been hopping onto the show, if I may ask? If you
said, how long have I what?
How long have you been jumping on the show with us?
At least three seasons now. I think this might be the fourth season, to be honest with you.
Okay, all right. Well, the reason why I'm saying that's because I hear this new show. I see it pop up on the Twitter feed from Jovan Buha, where he gets together with Trevor Lane and I forget whoever else. They call it the Lakers Collective, and they think it's this nice, nifty little sideshow that they do because they're all kumbaya. They get together and they get to go ahead and discuss the Lakers. So it's a great idea, guys. Sorry that no one else has thought of it. Oh, wait! I've been doing it for years. This is the real Lakers Collective right here, everyone.
Come on, man.
Yes. So stop watching them for eternal blandness and go ahead and watch out what we really need to watch right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So with that, John, I know what Joe was saying as far as what he'd like to throw at you as well. But again, so many fingers to point for today's game. I point at the coaches. I point at the players. The tremendous amount of turnovers, bad shooting, terrible defense. No aspect of the game should be untouched on this. Luka, dominating too much of the offense tonight when he really didn't have it. One of the worst second quarters I've ever seen this team play, period. End of sentence right there. But LeBron James seems to be a thing when it comes to you. And I guess that's something that has been earned through your various arguments with Joe over the years on the subject. But today, I think was JY put out, because he's making $52.6 million. And it's days like these where he comes in or should come in fresh to provide a lift to a team that did play last night, especially the guys that played 30 plus minutes last night. He should provide a jolt of energy because he didn't play last night. And today he totally whiffed it and barely even existed in this game. And on top of that, pissed everybody off because of his chit-chatting with just go in the huddle with the Phoenix Suns because it sure as hell looked like you did tonight. Right there, you pissed off JJ, you pissed off the audience, pissed off a lot of people tonight. It looked like he didn't care at all in the game. His body language spoke volumes, and it looked like the rest of the Lakers didn't care along with him. Your thoughts on LeBron James tonight and how it's getting harder and harder to defend the man because of sometimes the stuff you see. I mean, we like the fact he was playing as a third wheel when it suits us, when they're winning, and he's able to facilitate and be that third option for us. But when we need him to be an option that steps up to the plate tonight, especially coming on to, at least 3 days rest, he just didn't have it for us tonight. And that's not what we want to see.
Yeah. And big shout out to our moderator who just threw my channel here in the chat. So
that must be Search.
Yes,
Search.
Yes, big shout out to Search. Appreciate you, Search. Because that is where I'm from. Everybody, happy to see everybody. Sad we're here on a loss. And
15-5 though, John. I'll take it every single time.
Come on, right? You know what I'm saying? It's all about perspective, right? It's all about perspective. You never want to accept the loss, but at the end of the day, it is all about perspective. Now, as far as like this game in specifically, man, look, this game was over because the way we collapsed at the end of that second quarter, because the amount of turnovers, like how you mentioned, Gerald, not hitting shots. Besides Luka, nobody else really showed up, and even Luka was
Luka, you only got one quarter. Luka, you only got one quarter.
Exactly right.
That second quarter by Luka was probably the worst quarter he's ever played in a Lakers uniform, especially that last 2-3 minutes, which was just abysmal.
Yeah,
I didn't know who that was out there. I really didn't know.
Exactly right. So numbers wise, and numbers are not black and white, but if you look at it from the numbers wise and look at just box score, Luka finishes with 38. Next highest score is AR with 16. So we weren't hitting open shots. We didn't provide the offensive umph that we really need, but we also did terrible on the defensive end. Y'all, we did so bad against transition defense, in transition defense, set defenses. We played so bad on the defensive end. And the other thing I want to go ahead and point out here is, man, hold on. Had to clear my throat. I feel a little bit upset because I feel like, although be it that I've gave LeBron credit, whenever LeBron deserves credit, but I've also been the first one to hop on LeBron's neck when he's doing something wrong or when he's doing something that I don't like, right? So I feel a little bit upset here that the chat is expecting me to defend LeBron when there is no defending what this man did tonight. Gerald, everything you mentioned is absolutely annoying, right? The talking to Jordan Goodwin over here when it's fourth quarter and they just called a timeout. We just called a timeout because they on a run, and you over here laughing, talking to the other team. Not only that, but honestly, something that maybe somebody else mentioned earlier, but I haven't seen it yet. You know what pissed me off, y'all? You know what really, really pissed me off this game? LeBron, anyone could say whatever y'all want. He was going for his little scoring streak tonight. Like, he was 100% going for that. And you know what's even crazier is if you listen to the podcast that LeBron has with Steve Nash, the Mind the Game podcast, right? He literally says, "Oh, I don't care about," and here's the problem. Here's the problem. If to me it's like, just if you're gonna be one way, be that way consistently, right? Like, if you're gonna come out here and say on the podcast, "Oh, I don't really care about, what it's gonna do to me in my game. I just want to win." Okay, cool. So that's the standard because that's what just came out of your mouth, right, Bron? Okay, cool. And then I don't know when he recorded that podcast, but whatever, a couple days, weeks, whenever. A couple days later, fast forward to today, this is what he do today. Y'all, we all saw that man stay in the game just so he can get to 10 points when he should have been taken out. The first possession, when he still had 6, he should have been taken out. And any other player would have been taken out. They even said it on the broadcast. So that means that JJ Redick and LeBron or whoever kept bro in there just for a record. Come on, man. We're Lakers fans. We're not here just to break individual records. But it doesn't change how I feel about LeBron. I mean, if you know how I feel, you know how I feel. And it's all about, in between the lines and the games, because he's done a lot of great. But tonight he did a whole lot of bad and pissed me off tonight. Honestly, truthfully, our whole team did. But again, perspective, still sitting at what? Second in the league. Second in the West.
Second in the Western Conference, third in the NBA.
Second in the West. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Just went on my little Lakers / LeBron tangent.
You're now forever emboldened with the LeBron, excuse things. But the problem is, when you see stuff like that, and people that argue for LeBron and always try to defend LeBron to me or to anyone else, it's like, I will give you nights like this. I will give you that. I will give you, partying on a boat on the south of France with Jokic's agent. I will give you exercising in front of a Clippers logo. I will give you going, wearing a Knicks towel around your neck for a post game. I know going in Knicks colors to a Knicks game. The hourglass tweet. The decision 1 and 2. I will give you all of these things. When you talk about those who out there who love to defend LeBron and say he walks on water and can't do anything wrong, I have to point to that. It's just a detraction from the greatness that he has, the greatness that he has possessed, and the greatness that he's played in this game. It's just, it's like, why? I ask myself, why? And tonight, I asked myself, why? Why was that necessary?
Gerald, can we set the record straight, please, 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 and let it be known here for that, although be it, LeBron's done amazing things, and I feel the way I feel about LeBron. I am not one of those people that blindly support LeBron, nor anybody. Anybody that does that isn't really in tune with the game, isn't really watching what's going on. I support the man when he's doing what's right and when he's doing what equates to winning. But when he's not, I'm also the first one to get on him. So never want I want that little stigma to go away here, Gerald. I am a fair and upright fan. Not only LeBron, but the Lakers. So in the Lakers first, then LeBron.
And your Laravia take, I must compliment you on that.
Come on, dude.
Better and better.
You guys. I fucking told you guys. I had told everybody, and everybody in the chat's like, oh no. And again, I'm not talking about the results. I know he's not going to give me that great week that he had when he put up 25 and 27. I'm talking about the confidence. He doesn't even have the he's out there scared of play. Watch him play. He gets the rock and he want to give that up immediately. What kind of player is that? And this guy's supposed to replace Dorian Finney-Smith.
And again, I had said coming into the season, I wanted to evaluate too many games in before you start Marcus Smart on this team, Joe. And it's really hard to commit to Marcus Smart as a starter for this team because the simple fact is he cannot stay healthy. He's got back spasms now. Supposedly he'll be back for the road trip, maybe as early as the Thursday game against Toronto. But again, this team has certain flaws that you cannot look around. And this is why we warn you when you guys go ahead and jump on that bandwagon and you're already calling the Lakers to pick up that Larry O'Brien trophy. And you're saying, oh, Lakers beat OKC in 4 and all that stuff that you guys say like last night. And Gerald, why will you commit now to the Lakers being a title contender? It's these type of things that we see and tell you about on a daily basis that concern us. But I will take, Joe, the fact that, again, 15 and 5, I will take that any day of the week, Joe, for this team that you and I, John, and everybody else on our panel, every single panelist, none of them had him above 4th place in the Western Conference. None.
Well, the issue
to be where they're at now is truly above all of our expectations.
The issue is not so much tonight's game, and I'm going to talk about tonight's game because I'm getting requests about discussing the game a little bit more. The issue tonight was the Lakers were consistently late playing up against their own guys. Reeves was 3 steps behind. If you watch Awful Coaching do his thing from a few days ago about Bronny James, you'll see kind of what Austin was doing. He was just kind of in space, not thinking, not in a ready position, making sure that he was ready to defend the guy that he was supposed to defend. The other thing was their switches were terrible. Because they couldn't hit shots, the lane was pretty much closed. The court balance was off because they were down on themselves by not being able to score because Phoenix kind of played defense and kept them uncomfortable. A couple shots didn't go through. Too many bad decisions with passing from everyone. That tends to create bad morale. That tends to create bad momentum that doesn't normally go away. And there was likely a built-in excuse about a back-to-back. And Some of
I'm
you
not making
guys,
excuses, Joe. I'm just telling you the facts.
the thing is, it doesn't matter. Facts don't fucking matter at this point in terms of
they
what
don't
I'm
matter.
trying to
Okay.
say. What I'm trying to say is stop fucking saying back-to-backs are bad because
I'm
you're
not
gonna
going to say it.
manifest.
I'm not going to
I'm
stop
not talking
saying.
to you. Just let me finish.
Okay.
If the league, if you, if commentary, if coaches, of players, of assholes out there that are watching the game, oh, it's a back-to-back. Oh, it's a back-to-back. After a while, the shit is gonna fucking happen because everybody talks themselves into it. I'm trying to do the opposite. Stop fucking saying a 26-year-old can't play on a back-to-back in back-to-back home games because it creates that mentality. Maybe not from us directly, but over time it spreads. I don't remember hearing this much bitching and whining on back-to-backs 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Why?
And I agree with you. Same thing here. They
It's
played
it's
3
it's a
games back to
mentality.
back.
Everything I say is a mentality-based comment. Facts, what happens, you're never going to be 100% on everything. But the point is, what happened tonight likely happened because these guys believed it. And it doesn't help that the first fucking guy I see come out that locker room, again, there was somebody in front of him and behind them, but I just happened to turn the TV on at the moment where I saw Bronny James run out of the fucking locker room after what we saw him the last 2 games in the G League. This is bad. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. That guy has no business on this team. You're already lacking in talent. You need to get this fucking thing figured out ASAP. And it likely won't happen until LeBron is gone. And the dead weight is gone, obviously. But that's the issue. That's why I haven't talked so much about tonight's game in terms of its detail, because it really doesn't matter. I already know the flaws. This team doesn't play well against athletic heavy teams, which Phoenix is. They got waxed by Atlanta. They got waxed by Oklahoma City. They got waxed by Phoenix. That's not a coincidence. These were not close games. These weren't games where you're like, oh, man, they really, really had a bad stretch. It was the 4th game of a 5-night series where 5-game road trip where they were flying from Toronto to Atlanta to Orlando to Miami. Then at that point, especially if it's in January, February, you sort of understand that. But what I saw tonight was a mentality that manifested into an ass whooping because your leader, and as much as Luka is a leader, it's still LeBron's team. He's the guy. And what I saw their main leader do is not show up yesterday, show up today, me thinking, oh, he's going to be ready to go, played or didn't give a shit in terms of playing tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. He did give a shit. He cared about a record. He cared about numbers. And you motherfuckers out there that love LeBron, and I'm not saying, by the way, John, there's a false narrative here, and I'm 100% on this. No one's going to argue against this. I have never talked about John. I've never talked to John about anything LeBron other than that time, those 2 times we debated about it. That's it. He doesn't wax poetic LeBron off air. I've never heard him say shit about LeBron other than those discussions or when talking about the game. So I think, again, you guys, the world is just funny how they'll interpret shit when it's actually not happening. But understand this. I had to listen to a bunch of nobodies, a bunch of fucking garbage, idiot morons for a long time telling me that Kobe Bryant was selfish, that he was a selfish player. Those same assholes are the ones saying that LeBron is the GOAT. You see the hypocrisy? You saw tonight what he did. Mind you, Kobe sat when he had the scoring title ready for him. And this was in 14, by the way, guys. And this was when Durant was at his peak powers. So again, the Lakers have had an issue this year. They've been winning games against teams that they should beat, and they've won a couple of good ones against teams that are good, and that's great because you have Luka Doncic. Again, you're going to win these. You're going to win more than not when you have Luka Doncic on your team, and you're going to win a lot when your second guard is dropping 30 a game. It's just a matter of the numbers at that point, right? It's going to work. And then you have the DeAndre Aytons. You have the Ruiz who every now and then come through. You had Marcus Smart playing well when he was healthy. Again, you got a team that's sort of young here, that is young and it has played well more often than not. But there was still discussion that this team needs reinforcements. And it's games like this that really put that up front now. Like, this is not – they can go into Toronto and Boston and win both games. It still will not change. It will not change the need for this team to get a wing defender, at least one. They need at least one. However, seeing what LeBron did tonight, I'm going to be very curious to see is it really that, or are his wheels bald now?
Honestly, Joe, I have been an avid LeBron fan, for a long time, and I've watched LeBron for a long time. I really think like his wheels are bald, brother. Like, and the crazy thing is that like with all players who get to that age, it's like this, right? It's like they're going, and then the fall is just like boom. It's just straight to the ground. To be honest with you, so honestly, I think they're bald, and I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like LeBron at times this season has had thoughts of like, damn, like another. I'm like another season, I really do believe that at this point, the way he's playing, the way he's carrying, the way his body language is, I think he might genuinely be already even in.
So like, let's say that's the case.
In retirement.
Let's say that's the case. This is the yo-yo. I mean, I really LeBron is the ultimate yo-yo.
Absolutely.
Back and forth, right? So I can't tell you how many times and this is part of why he cares about what others think, and that's kind of society in general, right? People are like that. I started reading a lot of articles about how everyone's like, oh, LeBron is embracing his third option role. Believe me, if I read it, we know he's read it. And why is LeBron a yo-yo? Well, LeBron will, for a minute, go do the right thing, right? He'll do the right thing. And then the second that whatever that switch in his head does, he goes back to his old habits of, it's got to be about me. And this is just something that that we are going to have to deal with here, at least for another 6 months. I don't know what to think. I'd like to think optimistically that they can make a run here, but LeBron he actually has to be the second best player on this team for them to win.
He for sure does. And the crazy thing is, Joe, I really do think he can do that, but he can only do that in small stretches of games, which is why I say, preserve the man for playoffs, because that's when basketball matters. But then, the comeback argument to that is just like, well, if that's the case, then just retire, bro. But we all know that's not going to happen until at least.
Well,
at least he can give his announcement. He's going to do a really cool Instagram video about his retirement.
Well, I'm going to be surprised now that, because I thought maybe he'd announce it now this year before the season started because he wants the flowers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be next season. To be
Is
honest,
he really going to do a Tim Duncan if they
no.
if they
No
don't make
chance.
it? So
No
that
chance.
means he's going to come back next year. What's he going to do? Go play in Charlotte?
I think, to be real with you, Joe, I know that, we may not. I mean, I feel great about LeBron, but I know we in the chat and here people may not like LeBron, but he still has the pool to go anywhere he wants. For like one last year, like I still think he can just be like figure it out and go anywhere he wants for his last year, which I think it'd be Cleveland, to be real with you. Wrap up one last year, but again, I know one thing I know for sure: death taxes, and that LeBron will announce he's like, hey, this upcoming season is gonna be my last one. Guaranteed.
Well, if that's
Like
the case, then that means next year will likely be when he
the
does
last.
that. But I don't think he'll be a Laker unless they win it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea what's gonna where he'll be, but I just know that I'm almost positive. Like if I could bet money, I bet money next year is gonna be his last year, and he's gonna let everybody know at the end of this season.
Okay, good. Well, I hope he does well. And
He's done great in life, though. He's good.
well, in life is obvious, but it's very hard to focus game in and game out, week in and week out for a good amount of time without having to deal with this kind of stuff. We couldn't even get out of a bad game. We couldn't even get out of this game and say, okay, well, they had a dud. And that happens. But we saw remnants of selfishness just oozing, worrying about a 10-point record, hanging out and jibber-jabbing with the opponents that are whipping the shit out of you.
That shit was crazy, honestly.
Yeah, it's
I can't even do that.
And you wonder why these guys are soft. Stop making excuses for them. Stop telling me they're running back and forth more now than ever before. Did you ever watch Gerald? You remember the 80s?
I do. Indeed.
Were they not running back and forth then too?
I'm Joe. When I say what I say about the statistics of how teams play on the second game of back-to-back, it's not because I don't side with you on the fact that whether it's the mental or physical, it's a ridiculous concept because back in the day in the 80s, we talked about it. They played back-to-back all the time there. Didn't make those same excuses. They would play sometimes 3 games back-to-back-to-back and still didn't make excuses. And these guys showed up 82 games a year for a lot of them. And they didn't have the calf strains like that's running rampant right now in the league, or the groin strains like Booker. He went out with a groin injury tonight. How long will he be out? These guys with these strains and these pulls and these bruises that in the past, Joe, would have not kept any of those players from previous eras. The ones not just in the 80s and the 70s, but the firemen and the plumbers that JJ referenced to previously that pissed a lot of us off here. So again, you can say what you want about those previous generations, not as athletic, not as skilled, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But those guys were tougher. Those guys were mentally and physically tougher because of what was thrown at them. And they played basketball and were showed up for basketball for the most part on a regular basis, on a daily basis, without many of the complaints that they're having now, or many of the slight issues that they're having now that is keeping these players out of games or causing these things that we're seeing now as far as concerned. I'm not saying because I don't empathize with you. I agree with you. But I'm just telling you, when I say it, it's not an excuse like was mentioned in the chat earlier. It's just the fact. And whether you say it's mental or physical, it's still these back-to-back games affect these teams, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't for the most part. Now, okay, the Thursday-Friday game, if they're heading into Boston from Toronto and ending up there at 3:00 in the morning, I don't know. Maybe that's a different story we could talk about. But, they played New Orleans last night. They should have dusted them off in the first half, and they did. They played with their food, but still, they were at home. Got home, 11 o'clock, whatever. Could have went right to bed, gone to sleep, got rest. They didn't have to go ahead and travel anywhere. They stayed at home just to go to a quick shoot around. They could have gotten any work done that they need to, and they still laid an egg. So again, I'm siding with you, but I'm still spouting out the facts because they're there as far as how bad these teams play on second games for the most part on back-to-backs.
Gerald, so I wanna say two things. One, and this is the last thing I'll touch on, like with the LeBron thing. Look, again, absolutely bad game, but one thing that I will make known is that this does not change anything about how I feel about LeBron James. And I'll be honest with you, like if one game changes how you feel about somebody, you just haven't been watching for long
No,
enough. Like
and he is one of the greatest players of all time.
100%.
No, well, let me just say this. He is one of the greatest players of all time. Whether he's number one on your list, number two on your list, or what have you, he is without a doubt one of the greatest players of all time, and you cannot take away from him.
Absolutely.
But it's stuff like we see on the side that people still try to defend him. I've had arguments for days with people on LeBron, especially at that second decision. There was this stupid guy that was just in the chat, and I kept owning him in this chat as far as comments down below on YouTube for days. I'm at the Raiders game still blowing him away because I can throw facts after facts after facts on this idiot. And the fact is, it's just all this other stuff. It will not tarnish his legacy for the most part. 10, 20, 40, 50 years from now, people still look at LeBron in such a great light, and deservedly so. But it's in the here and now, John. It's just this other side stuff that no other player, maybe outside of Draymond Green, but Draymond Green is Draymond Green. But he didn't have to do a lot of the stuff that's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it just deters a lot of people like Joe and eventually me. It beat me down. It literally beat me down from defending him on a regular basis after he just did all this little extra stuff. It's just so irritating because you see the greatness and you want to enjoy the greatness, and it's just like it always has to come with a caveat.
Yeah, no, I hear it. And look, I'll say this: the greatness is there, and the greatness is there. I'm gonna be honest with you, more often than it's not there. If we're just gonna be real with you, right? But the problem is, and people are very either one side or the other. And I feel like people need to be more like me here, to be real with you, right? There are the LeBron stands that are like, this man can do nothing wrong. Like how you said, he's like walking on water, which is crazy to say. But there's those people who are way wrong. And then there's like the blacks of the world that just like absolutely hate him. They're like, he's not even a top 5 player of all time. Like, but then that's just absolutely wrong as well, right? Like those are two extremes that are wrong. I think people need to be able to sit right in the middle, which is where I feel like myself is, to be honest with you, which is like give him his much due credit for all the greatness. And again, he's bringing greatness more often than he's not. Hence, as to why he's number 1 scorer of all time, top 4 in assists. I mean, the list goes on, right?
I mean, you could go to Wikipedia, look at his resume.
Right,
How
exactly.
can you not put him as one of the greatest players of all time?
Hence exactly why he's doing that. But just because he has done that, that does not take away from when he does bad and which is a night like tonight, and it needs to be called out. So that's on that. That's the last thing I'll touch on with this LeBron thing. But the one thing I wanted to touch on, because you guys were talking about like the eras and stuff like that. I think a great analogy, and I think analogy is the right word. A great analogy for it is, to be real with you, like, you know how
Dark Lumen said he's one of the greatest right below Curry.
Oh God, no. Goodness, no.
No greater shooter than Stephen.
No greater shooter than Stephen Curry, but Stephen Curry's not even a top 5 player of all time. Overall player. I wouldn't even take him as a top 5 player of all time. He's a number 1 shooter. Absolutely. But it is much more to basketball than shooting that ball.
And Lakers all day, it's about the great defense you're talking about. You realize they're only 3 spots ahead of us in defensive rating. We're 17th cutting into today's game. They're 14th. So I don't want to say they did play good defense. They did turn over the ball today. They did play a good defensive game against us, but it's, they played with effort and heart, and they played with a lot of smart. They played a very smart, intelligent game, and the Lakers just fell right into their hands. But as a team overall, they're only slightly better than the Lakers defensively on this season. But I'm not saying that the Lakers are good defensively at all. You can't be when you're 17th out of 30 teams. This team needs a lot of help defensively, the rest assured. But I wanted to make that clear that they're not a defensive juggernaut Phoenix is this season, according to the stats. But today they sure as hell played like it.
Absolutely. And this analogy I was gonna give, and tell me if this makes sense. Gerald and Joe, and then also the chat. I feel like the generation are kind of like this. It's like, you know how these younger generation of kids are like, they're just softer, like they're just softer. But you know, some of these kids are like fucking coding at like 5 years old, like, you know what I'm saying, just like doing some crazy stuff that I feel like in older generations, like, you know, we necessarily haven't seen. But in older generations, you know, these kids were just getting absolutely like beat, right? Like just absolutely beat. Well, when now kids nowadays, like the beating of a child is like taking away their phone. Like that's equivalent to like a kid getting beaten out, you know, back then. So I feel like the NBA and the generations, like the analogy that I draw is like nowadays, you know, they do all this like, oh, the science says don't play back-to-backs, and the science says, you know, don't play X amount of minutes. And I feel like it's when you coddle your kid so much, which is what I feel like the newer generation does, that it like actually low-key like ends up hurting your child more down the long run versus like the kids back in the day who would like they damn near had like a crack pipe like in the like the kitchen counter, you know what I'm saying? And they could have grabbed it at any point, but hey, you know, they grew up and ended up being perfectly okay. I don't know if that makes any sense, if you guys get that, but it makes sense in my mind. That analogy.
But best, Austin's team is not telling anyone or hinting to anyone exactly what he is going to ask for in the summer. No one knows exactly what he would be looking for at this point in time, Best. So whatever insider article that you saw is full of crap. Because if you're managing Austin Reeves and you see that your guy is averaging 26 points coming into today's game, you're not just asking for half off or $100 million less than what you can make right now. So we'll see how it plays out through the entire season in the playoffs. But yeah, if you're reading and believing this insider article, then there's a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you as well. Joe,
Really, where? I want it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll build it on Legos. And by the way, Terry, your comprehension skills are so low that you need to go back to kindergarten where you dropped out the first time. So please, Terry, you're losing this argument. You've already lost it.
Back up, Terry.
Back up, Terry,
have you guys seen that video?
Again, you do not like when we call out. We've been doing this for years. You don't like it? Oh, well, deal with it, because we bring you the best opinion on Lakers basketball there is, and there's no one better.
It's Teresa, not
can't
Terry.
Deal with it. If you can't deal with it, Terry.
You guys got to watch that. Back up, Terry.
Hold on, let's see what Terry says.
Terry. Just relax. No more
your
comments.
comprehension skills are low. Did I lie about players staying in games for that last rebound or assist since the beginning of the NBA?
We don't care about they're all stat patterns. We get that. We understand that. That's notwithstanding who else here. But again, if you're going to call us opinionated or whining or crying, fine, you can say what we want, or yelling, what have you. It doesn't matter. But again, we bring it to you. We've got over 700.
What's the question again, Teresa?
Yeah, Teresa.
I'm not in on this discussion,
guys.
What's the question?
Watch the video I just dropped in the chat.
Terry, my answer is yes. You are stupid, and you need to go back to kindergarten where you
put it in first, Terry. Put it.
So there you go. That's definite.
Is that the question you asked? If you're dumb?
Yes, absolutely.
That's not a good question to ask.
Back up, Terry.
Absolutely. Terry, you're being outnumbered, and you came to
Terry, put it in reverse.
You came to a knife fight with a pencil, my friend. So sharpen it up somewhere else, my friend, and I'll leave it at that. But once again, the Lakers win. No, they don't. Sorry, they lost 125-108. But again, 15-5 right now, second place in the Western Conference. And again, they head out on the trip. I know JY asked earlier before Terry with his lame, inane questions.
Is it Terry or it says Teresa?
I guess Teresa. Yeah, I think you're right. It is Teresa. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to.
Or is it Terry Sam CG?
McGee, Terry Sam McGee.
Terry Sam McGee. Back up, Terry.
Is
Terry Sam
McGee there too?
Yes, Terry Sam McGee. Yeah.
No Jake Quillen?
Yeah.
Well, you better Blockade. What about Blockade? Isn't there a Blockade Martin in the?
Well, there's
in
Black.
The
there's John's.
I call him Block.
Yeah, there's John's.
He doesn't deserve to be called.
Ron. You better be sick, dead, or mute. Ron. That was the best part of that skit when he said
Lakers
that.
all day. So he says, "Do you all know we've lost
sick,
to the Suns
dead, or
times?
mute?"
Lakers all day says, "Do you know we all lost to the Suns the 3 times this calendar year?" Okay. And
wait, what happened?
Lakers all day pointed out that we've lost to the Suns 3 times this year.
Oh, counting from
last season, maybe, or exhibition. I don't know.
So does this mean the Suns are good?
I don't know.
Is the Illuminati? What? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh man, I love that show, but I don't. Do they still do that anymore? The Third Eye type deal. Tom Habistro. Yeah, that was.
I don't know who that is, Joe.
Yeah. Because he moved on to Yahoo Sports, so I don't know if he still does.
Teresa McGee sounds like a fake name.
Yeah,
it sounds like a name you like.
Teresa, will you show yourself already? Where'd you go?
Might have left. Might have scared Teresa off. So.
Well, Teresa, before you leave, please do go check out my channel.
Outnumbered by cry. Oh, we're crybabies.
Teresa,
now.
please give me money.
Teresa, yes. Before you leave, wait, please do go check out my channel.
Admitting Teresa's admitting he's trash. He said, Lakers fast break, outnumbered by crybabies. I'm trash and I know it. But the Lakers played like trash as well. That's how I'm interpreting.
I got it. Can you let her ask the question again for me? Because I'm confused.
Teresa,
back up to before you knew who we were and ask the question again. I got to hear the question. I'm like I'm coming into a murder scene, not knowing there's a murder.
Well, Teresa's trying to prove
dangerous.
that we're whining and we're crying, but because Teresa's new. So thanks for stopping by, Teresa. Truly appreciate
Lakers Corner, Teresa. Check me out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, just so you know, Teresa, Gerald's the kind of guy that'll I don't know if I want to say that actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Gee, has that ever stopped you before?
He's the kind of guy that'll tell you that there's not a rental car available and then say thank you to you.
Yes, and still try to find you one anyways, Teresa. So yeah, absolutely. But Joe, I did want to ask something about as far as what JY long time ago before Teresa's inane bantering came into play. I wanted to ask you, JY said about the upcoming road trip that's coming up right now. And the Lakers have, again, a lot of road games on this month's schedule, which, I guess is what the doctor ordered maybe for the Lakers to get away from the stain of a bad loss like this. But how's it going for the next 3 games? Toronto, Boston, and then Sunday at Philadelphia. They play the game here for the NBA Cup on the 10th. We don't know if they're going to Vegas or not, so we'll have to wait and see that plays out. And then they go on the road again for Utah, the Clippers, and Phoenix. So let's start off with this 3-game road trip. 2-1. Would you be satisfied with that?
Well, I think we had talked about the last when they got back from their recent road trip, we talked about how 3-1 during their 4-game homestand would be good, which is what they did. And then 4-2 for the road trip. But the San Antonio thing came in there when they won the last game for the NBA Cup. I'm going to stick to 4-2, but there's a good chance they might lose that San Antonio game.
Mm-hmm.
So
4-2, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking 4-2. Looking at the schedule, I was thinking. I mean, let's say they lose to Toronto. They got to again. I can never not. I always want that Boston win, and then they'll have a day off. Philadelphia is going to be hard to beat, so I figured they'd probably lose that one, and then win in Utah, beat the Clippers, and then beat Phoenix in Phoenix. That was kind of where my head was on it. Lose to Toronto, lose to Philly was my instincts.
I'm with that. Honestly, I definitely think we're gonna lose to Toronto. I don't know about losing to Philly, to be real with you, brother.
It might not be a problem, but
early game on a Sunday though. Lakers kind of struggle with those early games.
No, it's not really that early. They're all going to be early there.
I guess that's true.
It's going to come down to Tyrese Maxey going to have to get guarded by Bronny James again.
That's a quick 8 points in the span of
that was terrible last year. Do you remember that last season?
I do remember that. I do remember that.
He got owned.
Okay, hold on. Players have stayed in the game for the last rebound or assist since the beginning of the NBA. Let the one I was replying to explain. I said, I'm far from stupid. Okay, Teresa, listen.
You're pretty darn close to it. I mean, you come up right on it.
Look, there's a difference between Ricky Davis. There's a difference between Ricky Davis trying to miss a shot on his opposing team's rim to get a triple-double versus LeBron James, who's already owned every significant record the last 23 years.
I used Russell Westbrook as the example of stat padding.
There you go. LeBron should be above this. We're talking about a guy that's in the discussion of the greatest of all time. Do you see LeBron? Do you see Kobe? Do you see Jordan? Do you see Kareem? Do you see Magic? Do you see Bird? All guys that have been called the best at some point in their career. Do you see any of those guys, if you read history or watch them play, like some of us have you ever heard a story where these guys were stat padding after getting their ass whooped and sitting there and lollygagging with the opponent? No. I haven't.
Never.
The only time they'll get together with the opponent is after the game to congratulate them on a loss or a win. But I never saw it. I never saw it in this kind of manner. Like maybe shooting the shit, like while they're talking shit, something like that, banter. But LeBron looked like he was vacationing over there. What the fuck?
And no, the craziest thing though, it was in the middle of a run. That was the wildest part. Is the run, you gotta be like, damn.
And this is not an isolated situation. This is not the first time. It won't be the last time. LeBron James, and no matter how much you scream it, is the most selfish all-timer I have ever seen. And all all-timers have huge egos. That is not the problem. That is not the issue. You have to have a massive ego to be that great. Yeah. Tiger Woods, Kobe, MJ, Kareem, all of them. It's in the manner of how LeBron does it that we have an issue with. And I didn't have an issue with it before he came to LA because I didn't give two shits about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat.
Yeah, bro, shit.
So understand the difference. I want to be happy about LeBron being a Laker and titles and all that, but he makes it extremely difficult to cheer for him. We don't relate to LeBron James. I don't. And a lot of people in LA, believe it or not, I had said this at the beginning of the show. LA is known as Hollywood. LA is known as plastic. LA is known as superficial. That is true, but it's a segment of that area that's like that, not the ones I hang out with, not the people that live in the Valley, not the people that live in Inglewood, Carson City, LA, Culver City. There's a lot of people out there that actually work for. That's why they love Kobe so much, because he was a blue-collar guy. And that's what that is. That's LA. You go to a Dodger game, they're all blue-collar people. So LeBron James, one of my main beefs with LeBron James, and this is a beef I have with anybody though. It's worse because this guy sets the example for so many people. There's 20 to 30 million people following this guy. So that's why it's worse when this guy does it. He is a self-absorbed human being in every sense of the word. He is a classic. The term narcissist gets thrown around, much like the word OCD, when it's not really true. Like, just because somebody does something for themselves sometimes doesn't make them a narcissist. But LeBron James is a classic narcissist. Classic. I mean, if you look at the traits of all the things he does, I mean, it's like one after another. So when you have a guy like that, it's very hard to cheer for somebody like that, especially when it's at the expense of your team. And it has been a problem. He has been a distraction there, and there was no bigger distraction than him connecting this thing with his son. This thing with his son was kind of the backbreaker for me. That was this team already lacked talent. You wasted the one of the few things you could control in getting talent so that you could appease a narcissistic, self-absorbed man so that he can have this dream of playing with his kid. You want to go play with your kid? Go to a fucking Make-A-Wish Foundation event. This is professional fucking sports. And I'd say it in front of his face. I'd say it in front of Jeannie. I'd say it in front of Rob. I don't give a fuck. Because there's no way they're going to be able to argue against that. If you don't believe me, go watch Awful Coaching. There's a little plug for him.
And on that note, I'm going to give myself a plug. Lakers Corner. Check me out. On Instagram, it's Lakers_corner. On TikTok, I'm growing. I'm almost at 8K on TikTok, guys. Get me there.
Congratulations. What is it like on TikTok?
It's great over there, Gerald.
Wish I knew.
Lakers Corner 24 is my @ name on TikTok, and on Twitter, aka X, it is the Lakers Corner. And I dropped my YouTube my link earlier here. Some people dropped it. God moderator, our boy Serge dropped it in. Appreciate you. Yep. Yeah, check me out, guys. I do 3-minute game recaps. I do weekly shows, and I even had Gerald on. Joe, I'm gonna have you on soon, brother.
That's a warning to you, Joe.
I was thinking about
for what
doing it this last weekend, but I don't know.
You guys were busy missing each other.
Yeah, we were
intentionally
busy
or unintentionally.
I was in your hometown, Joe, this last weekend.
And he loved it.
You were here this last weekend?
Yep.
He said he was coming to Anaheim. We told you that. He told you that.
That's not my backyard. I thought he meant Temecula.
Joe, that's far enough to where we can hang out.
It's an hour and 10 minutes away. I mean, that's what it is. That's not my fault.
But that's okay. Anyway,
look.
All right.
If I'm in town, I'll be there.
Well, Joe, okay. I was in town for John.
No, Gerald. No, you weren't.
Oh, yeah, that was
Gerald,
pretty bad.
You were Gerald. You were in a whole different town. I live in Oakley. You were in Oakland. Those are like 45 miles apart. Those are like,
how many minutes? That's an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
Funny, isn't that around the same distance Anaheim is to Temecula?
Well, that's why I just said okay to Joe. That's why. But Joe has no excuse. Next time I'm in LA, he better be in LA. And we're gonna do that.
Oh, excuses again.
Yes.
What we started the show with is like we were making excuses, so we were called excuses.
Yeah. See, God moderator said we can meet in Corona. Joe, we could meet in Corona.
Yeah, that's a better spot.
Yeah, cool. We can meet in Corona.
We can go to Kicking Crab. It's a good crab boil place over there.
And then hit a 24-hour fitness after. Let me see.
You'll probably want to wait. You want to wait. You want to be in the gym after that. You want maybe give it like 5 hours. Let it kind of marinate a little bit.
Hey, that was funny. You probably want to wait.
I mean, unless you're eating that pussy ass mild fucking sauce, but there's no point at that point. You might as well just go to Costco and boil it at home.
I did want to go ahead and say, Div, you missed, of course, the Lakers losing tonight, 125 to 108. But Lakers still have 15-5 records, second best in the Western Conference, third best overall. Their 7-game winning streak was snapped, but they can start a new one again later on this week.
Chris, I got a guest bedroom, man. You roll through. You're more than welcome anytime.
Well, last time I rode through, Joe, it was kind of bad, but you didn't.
The last time you rolled through, I was out of town like the last 4 times. I don't know what the hell it is.
Honoring Cyber Monday. Speaking of which, right here, quality material made right here by our good friend Trip Show at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. The pillow right here of Kobe and Gigi.
Mine is in bed. Mine is in bed right now.
There you go. Well, okay, that's all I need to know about that one. But the poster right behind you, right there, t-shirts, hats. You see the canvas art right there behind me with Kobe and Luca right there. And also, just want to let you guys know that Tufso, one of our best and brightest as far as our fans and followers who is part of our playback coverage, he has made an order with Drip Show. So he's going to tell you.
Out.
Yeah.
Best League. I do go live periodically. I mean, I go live like for a post game show. I mean, it's just this same show. So you can check it out on my channel as well. But yeah, I do go live like periodically, but I mainly do the 3-minute game recap after every game, and then
he does a weekly show normally.
Yeah, and then I'll do a weekly show every week, and then after every game, I do like a 3-minute game recap, like with the highlights and a whole bunch of other graphics. And then I go live here with the guys.
Fancy schmancy. There you go.
Fancy schmancy. Yes. But anyway, appreciate you boys. You guys are the best. And
You've been warned, Joe. You're gonna have to hop on the show. So you've been warned.
You want me on the show?
Joe, of course, brother.
That's how the conversation started. I love how he just ignored that fact and we went into that whole tirade. Not
Joe just is like here and then just like sometimes he's not here, and then he's here, and he's just sometimes he's not. But he has a nice hat.
He's looking for Teresa to go ahead and talk more smack.
He has a nice hat. All right, Teresa. I'll see you. Gerald Joe. I'll see you. All right, chat. Appreciate you guys. Gone.
Thanks. It's John Costa. Go ahead and catch him on Lakers Corner, wherever you get your social media, and YouTube as well. And speaking of that, please like and subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, also, please like us, guys.
Yes, like the dang show. We're tired of being
not liked.
Yes, not liked. Seemingly that's something we could do real easily, but
that's not true, actually.
Go ahead and help out the channel with likes and subscribes. Go ahead and help out Joe's channel, the Joe Sorrell Experiment, and also join us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, and playback.tv/the Joe Sorrell Experiment. And Lakers Corner has one as well, but the playback on Joe's channel has the Australians taken over quite a bit from what I've seen. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy that, or our conversation. Tough, no joker there, doing a great job holding it down there as well. So it's going to be an early game, guys, on Thursday. Any thoughts before we head on out, my friend?
It'll be super.
At least it's not a Saturday or Sunday.
I love 4 and 4:30 games because the game ends at 6 or 6:30, and then we do a show if you're available.
That's iffy right now.
And then we're done at like 8:30, and then that now allows me to do the experiment if I need to, which I will this week.
There you go. Well, you'll have your opportunities as once again the Lakers.
I'm trying to connect with my circadian rhythm as much as I can. Although it's difficult because it's just not in the cards with the sports life that we live. The games end at 10 o'clock sometimes. So yeah.
Yep. Life on the West Coast. But
I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, I guess I could move to Hawaii.
That would be the best.
Catch up a 3-hour. Imagine watching a Laker game at 1 o'clock.
I watched the NBA draft, Joe, at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Great. That
was great. That was fantastic. Oh, excuse me, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That was fantastic. I just sat there I was at the hotel bar, just kicking back, just watching the whole thing happen one year when I was there. And it was just, that was the best. Michael Heinrich for the Lakerholics. He's in Hawaii. He gets to experience that every single game. The lucky guy. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Big shout out to our audience all around the world, Australia, Europe, wherever you're catching us. Cannot thank you enough for doing so. It is the Lakers, unfortunately, losing 125-108. But cheer up, guys. Again, 15-5 after 20 games. That is really cool for the Lakers as they head out on the road for a 3-game road trip. First stop is in Toronto. How will it be? We'll let you know how it will be. We're going to go ahead and hopefully post a little bit more content in the coming days as well on Lakers Fast Break. But again, we'll see you on Thursday on Playback. And of course, the best post game that's out there. No better place to go. Whether it's whining, crying, excuses, or just facts and opinions that are nowhere else better than right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. No pointing, Jim? No pointing?
Sorry, I was typing. Shaq running the break. It's like yesterday.
Who banned Jeremy? I'm never going to hear about it if Jeremy got banned.
Well, he got banned by one of the guys from Playback because there was dialogue going on with Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a word in their stuff, and it ended up that's what those scumbags do is they look for